Starting with the latest from Sudan, the Sudanese capital of Khartoum witnessed a fresh wave of violence on Thursday after security forces killed 3 protesters during the latest anti-coup protests. According to reports, Sudanese forces shot dead 3 protesters as thousands of people took to the streets of Khartoum and other cities to denounce the military rule. Security forces fired tear gas and stun grenades as protesters marched through Khartoum and other neighboring cities to reach the presidential palace.
طلعت لتحقيق التحول الديمقراطي الحقيقي يعني صراحة الثورة السودانية ما أكملت للأهداف اللي هي مرقوا بها 2018. بالتالي مطلوب الحراك السلمي يستمر إلى حين تحقيق أهداف الثورة الشعبية.
Now, this was the first wide-scale protest since Abdullah Hamdok announced his resignation as the country's prime minister. Hamdok was held under house arrest for weeks following the coup before being reinstated in a 21st of November deal. The deal for his return was denounced by many in the civil coalition. The rallies were the latest in a series of mass demonstrations since Sudan's armed forces led by General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan staged a power grab on the 25th of October last year. The military coup, which has been internationally condemned, has triggered widespread protests in Sudan. At least 60 people have been killed in military crackdowns since then. The military coup has also derailed Sudan's gradual transition towards full democracy that had started after the April ouster of long-time autocratic ruler Omar al-Bashir in 2019. Now, here are some of the crucial questions. What are the protesters demanding? Well, to start with, they want an end to the ongoing military rule. Secondly, they do not want the military to indulge in any government activities. And thirdly, they want a smooth transition to civilian rule in the country. Since the coup, like I mentioned, at least 60 people have been killed across Sudan. Even after 2 months, Sudan still has no functioning government. And for more on this, WION correspondent Naba Moeddin is joining us live from Khartoum. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, like I mentioned, at least 60 people have been killed in the military crackdown. Sudan has witnessed mass demonstrations since the military coup on the 25th of October. What can you tell us about the situation on ground right now?
The situation is very fragile in the country right now without any future or any indicator of a political solution. Every party, like political parties and military generals and protest blocs, are clinging to their stances, and nobody wants to make any compromisement. So there is a political congestion and a political shock, and the political atmosphere is very shocked and very polarized. The protesters continue in protesting, and they scheduled at least 6 mass demonstrations in January, and they don't want any negotiation with the military, and they don't want the military to be in the political scene. The military, they don't want the political powers who share the power with for more than 2 years to be again in a partnership, and also the political powers, they don't want the military. So there is no any kind of compromise or any solution. So people in Sudan are waiting for mediation efforts and waiting for a resolution for this shocked atmosphere and this political scene that seems to be very fragile and very shocking.
Right, absolutely. In fact, I was just going to come to that. This has thrown off Sudan's transition to democracy. Protesters, like you mentioned, are demanding zero involvement of the military. How do you see this situation unfolding? You said that the people of Sudan are waiting for mediation. What can we expect going forward?
They want a mediation, but they don't want another version of the partnership that led to this situation. They think the mediation that took place after the ouster of al-Bashir in 2019 and that partnership between civilians and military led to this situation. But they want mediation to make the military compromise and to make the military step down. And at the same time, they want the political powers to agree and to confirm and to accept to just appoint a government out of technocrats, not a power-sharing government out of like quotas or sharing due to the political parties to political parties. They want the military to convince and to accept this compromise, and they want the political powers to just adhere to the aspirations of people and to prepare for the elections. Meanwhile, they just accept to not be in the government, but appoint technocrats and not sharing the chairs with the military. So the mediation should make this compromisement and make people come to a mutual ground, because in this way it may lead to more chaos and more uncertainty.
All right, Naba, thank you so much for joining us with all your inputs on this. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.